Hi, it's Jason here, and welcome to On Your Yoga Mat, and welcome to this Learn Ashtanga Yoga in 3 months. This is a 13-week course, and now we're up to lesson 6. It's important to go back and play lesson 5, which is all of the sun salutations and all of the standing postures. So I'm going to explain how we move on from there and start with the seated postures. So you could watch this first, get an idea of this, but ideally this is an incremental adding on practice where we build up. So there's a link below if you want to go back, just warm up and get through lesson 5. That's the half-hour sun salutation standing postures. Then you could come right back and pick it up here at lesson 6. And if you're ready to move straight on, you've already done that, then we begin with the first seated posture, which is called Dandasana. So we might need a block at this point to sit on, but this first seated posture has our legs out in front like this. It's important when we sit, whether you're sitting on a block or if it feels comfortable enough just to sit down on the ground, that the legs feel pleasantly active. So you can imagine your toes spreading, like you can more easily spread your fingers, and slightly pointing away from you, but these muscles above your kneecaps here gently engage. You don't want to completely pull on these muscles here and it feels too much and the heels are off the ground, just pleasantly activating the legs. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Now we can physically spread our fingers a little bit wider to place them down by our sides. If you're sitting on a block, then you probably might not have your palms down on the mat, but over time we aim to sink the palms downwards. This actually helps us sit up a little bit taller. We can imagine our profile from the side over a period of time becomes this 90-degree shape. Imagine there's a string attached to the top of your head. It's going straight upwards, the shoulders are relaxing down. You feel the fingers spread into the mat by your sides, the toes are spread, the legs are pleasantly active, and from here, gently just taking your gaze down towards the top of your legs. This involves physically tilting the head as if the chin is being drawn down to the top of the chest. As far as feels comfortable, make sure that feels okay on the back of the neck. And we breathe here for 5 full deep breaths. It's a great chance, this first seated posture, to reconnect with the Ujjayi breath we talked about at the beginning. Mouth is closed, face relaxed, a deeper breath in through the nose, and a smooth deep breath out through the nose. As you're gazing down, you might physically catch sight of your ribcage expanding as you inhale, contracting as you exhale. Remember, if you need to soften the knees, that's okay, and if you're not quite down with your palms on the ground, you just get the fingertips down to begin with. If it feels like you're slightly leaning into it, that's no problem as well. Just do your best to sit up, and a few more breaths. Really, again, trying to connect with the sensation of every inhalation you take and every exhalation. And after 5 breaths, we move into our next posture called Paschimottanasana. This is a forward bend from sitting. So again, the option might be that you might sit up on a block. You might still be on your block. If you've got a belt handy, that might be an option as well, because we are preparing to go forwards. It's really important we don't overdo it on the hamstrings. Keep the legs active again. You're far less likely to pull anything if you feel some support here. It's when it all goes loose like this and we start moving forward that things get pulled. So, toes up towards the ceiling, slightly away from us, softening the knees. Even if you've got the knees bent, you can still keep the legs gently active. Paschimottanasana, the first variation, we're reaching somewhere down the line for our feet. Now, if that's too much, you can have your hands on your shins or your ankles. You might, if you're a little bit further back, use a belt just to maybe get you in this position. Wherever you are, whether it's with the belt or hands on shins or ankles, we inhale, lift the chest, look forwards, and then we exhale into the posture. That might literally just be a couple of degrees like this. It's important to try and maintain some length in the posture so we don't collapse down. So better to be still up here, maybe not moving that much further than the previous posture from here. Just a few degrees in, try and keep the shoulders relaxed, gazing just forward to your toes. Wherever you are, keep breathing. Smooth breath in Smooth breath out. Paschimottanasana, the name of this posture, literally means trying to spread the back of the body. Can you imagine from the base of the spine, lengthening out through the top of the head? So, after 5 breaths, we inhale, come up. Now, in this series, traditionally, there are 2 forward bends. They mirror the 2 standing forward bends. Now we're sitting down. Incrementally, we'd go a little bit further. If you did have your big toes, then you could explore fingers over the top, possibly around the sides. But my advice would be, if you're just here, maybe just repeating what we've done just to get used to the sensation of falling forwards, or incrementally, you might go a little bit further. We reset, inhale, lift the chest. This is typically called Paschimottanasana B, or second variation, and exhaling, gently folding down. Don't have to go any further than before. Make sure it feels okay that the hamstrings are supported. Don't want to feel anything's pulling. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And after 5 breaths, we inhale, come up to sitting, straight arms, straight back. Exhale, release. Now in this system of yoga, the Vinyasa is the sequence and series of maneuvers that get us between the seated postures. And this is a nice way of balancing out the flexibility of a lot of these postures with developing a little bit of strength. And we talked about this awareness to our abdomen. And it's taking that a step further. This idea of Uddiyana Bandha, the support to the abdomen, and also Mula Bandha, this sense of almost lifting up from within. So we try and just subtly feel this area here. We are going to cross our ankles, bring our knees into our chest, and we're going to take our hands down by our sides, just as we did in the first seated posture, Dandasana. Ideally here, really, you do need your fingers spread and the palms down on the ground. We're going to breathe in and press firmly into the ground and see if we can tilt a little bit of weight forwards. So we inhale, press, tilt some weight forwards, exhale, come back down. Physically, nothing much may happen. That's perfectly fine to begin with. It's about making the intention of feeling some awareness from here, spreading the fingers, palms down. Don't come up onto your fingertips, because if you push down and then something happened, you could kind of sprain a finger. So fingers spread nice and wide, palms down. Inhale, push, tilt a bit of weight forward. Exhale, come back down. That's just the beginning of the Vinyasa, and we're going to be doing more of those. But the next phase is to then get the feet behind us. And over time, this is assisted by leaning further into this. But for now, we're simply going to step our feet to the side, replace the hands, step back. And this is just like we did in all of those sun salutations. Knees down, elbows in. We could end up all the way down on our fronts. Inhale, lift the chest, gentle cobra. Remember the option, thighs off the ground, upward facing dog. It's exactly the same. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Gently tucking back to our downward facing dog. But from this downward facing dog, we're coming back through to sitting again. So we inhale, look to the hands. Can we take a couple of steps in? We could maybe come down onto the knees, on the tops of the feet, but whatever it takes, we need to sit back down, straighten out the legs in front, hands by sides, ready for the next seated posture. So in this series of postures, we have done Dandasana. We were sitting like this at the beginning for 5 breaths. We did a forward bend, Paschimottanasana, of which there are 2. Now, Purvottanasana is the opposite. If Paschimottanasana stretching out the back of the body, Purvottanasana stretching out the front of the body. This is a little bit of a strength posture, and we recline the hands back behind us, try and keep the fingers facing forwards and the fingers spread nice and wide. Over time, this posture is done with straight legs and the feet together. To begin with, if you want a little bit more stability, you could just separate the feet a little bit, and we're going to press back into the hands and inhale. Now, if we can keep the legs straight, the hips are going to lift up, and we can point the toes away from us. We're just going to look gently down to the toes, keep the shoulders rolling back, and try and lift the chest. If it's too much to get off the ground with straight legs, we could bend the knees a little bit, just as much as you need to. Keep breathing. Just keep the face relaxed. You can just keep looking straight ahead for now. Keep lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back, pressing into the ground, and double check that feels okay on the wrists with the fingers spread. And then exhale, coming back down. Over time, we'll work to do that posture with straighter legs and lifting a little bit higher. But that's a great start, and we're taking another Vinyasa. I want you just to, from time to time, vary the way you cross your ankles. Draw the knees into the chest, just as far as feels comfortable. You're going to place the fingers nice and wide and have the palms down on the ground. An option sometimes could be to have 2 blocks either side of you with the fingers spread and the palms down. This just helps to give you a little bit more lift. So as you inhale, press, you can tilt a bit of weight forward and breathe a nice long breath in, exhale back down. Remember, it's this internal lift. It's not really so much about physical strength as about just keeping the arms strong and just engage with the palms down to press forwards, inhale, exhale back down. If you're using blocks, you could just move the blocks out the way, and whatever again it takes to step or hop the feet back out to the side. You could again vary the way you take your feet out to the side. We need to step or walk the feet back to here. Gravity's taking over, just the same as all of those sun salutations we did. Keep breathing as you inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, either here or thighs off the ground, a little bit further, upward facing dog. Exhale just for a breath, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the hands, a couple of steps. Can you press a little bit more weight into the hands, tilt the hips a little bit higher, and then crossing the ankles or coming down onto your knees. At this stage, whatever it takes, just to sit back down and straighten out the legs. This next posture in the series is a little bit more challenging, so we're taking this nice and steady. It's called Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana, and it's right side first, typically in Ashtanga yoga. So we're going to keep our leg pleasantly active, and as we alternate sides, whichever leg is straight, remember what we said, just keep the muscles above this kneecap working, keep the toes spread, keep this leg active, because this will be the leg we're folding over, keeping the hamstring protected. So in this more challenging seated posture, it's about making sure the knee feels completely stable and relaxed. We're going to start off with a modification just to work the sole of that right foot on the inside of this left leg. We can hold the knee here in place. If we wanted to, we could put a block or a couple of blocks just to support the knee. Make sure you feel okay here, and then gently taking your hands either side of your left knee. It's important to keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. And before all of these forward bends, just as we've already done, inhale, lift the chest, look slightly forwards, exhale, and just folding down as far as feels appropriate. Can you try and feel a little bit of inward pressure, the sole of this right foot on the inside of that left leg, just as you would do if you remember doing the variation in one of the standing postures, tree posture, to try and keep the leg up against the inside of the left leg. A couple more breaths. Just to try and keep that right foot, sole of that right foot on the inside of that left leg, just to try and feel it there. So you don't want to feel the posture just kind of disconnected. Inhale, lifting the chest, look up. We're about to switch sides. Eventually we do a vinyasa between sides, but for now we're just going to take it a little bit steadier, cross the ankles, knees to chest, and just practice a lift. Fingers spread, inhale, press, exhale, come back down, and then we're switching sides. So this is a modification, remember, for the slightly more challenging posture, which we will be exploring over time in the next few lessons. But to begin with, just make sure it feels okay to soften this left knee. We could support the knee. If it does feel okay just hanging in space there, you could just be leaving it there, or block, or you could even hold it here. Make sure your right leg is nice and active, and hands either side of that right knee. And again, if you wish to, you could, as we did in that first seated posture, just use a belt just below the toes of your right foot, and then just taking hold here. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, folding forward, just a few degrees. Keep breathing. Try and feel the left foot up against the inside of that right leg. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And then exhaling. And inhaling, coming up. Straight back, straight arms. We look forwards. Make sure it feels okay just to release this left leg. We're going to cross our ankles. We're going to do one more vinyasa, and then we're going to come through to sitting. So knees gently drawn into chest. Hands down by sides with the fingers spread. Press the palms into the ground. Inhale, press. Tilt a little bit of weight forwards. Keep breathing. Exhale, come back down. And then whatever it takes. And over time, we try and move the hands slightly further forwards. If you want to have a go at doing this, but take it steady. And then pressing a little bit of weight forwards to step the feet back from there. Now that's obviously quite challenging, so don't worry if you're not doing that. Just so you can see, a little bit of weight goes forwards with the hands here to step the feet back, and we lower down, elbows in. Inhale on the top of the feet, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Any of the options to exhale all the way back, down facing dog. Remember, the knees can be slightly soft here. Just one breath as you breathe out. Inhale, looking back to the hands, couple of steps, whatever it takes. Can you walk the feet in a little bit? At some point, if it felt comfortable, you might be on the tops of the feet, bending the knees, but really whatever it takes, just to sit back down, straighten out the legs, to sitting. So moving through to the last few seated postures. Going to cross our ankles. Make sure you feel okay sitting here. Remember, we can sit up on a block if we wished. We put the back of the hands on the knees, thumb and index finger touch, remaining 3 fingers pointing down towards the ground. We sit up nice and tall. And you can see the similarity now between this seated posture and Dandasana, the first seated posture we did, where we draw the chin down towards the top of the chest and look at the space between the knees. 10 breaths here. We're going to switch sides halfway through. So we're going to breathe in. Breathe out is 1. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out is 2. Keep sitting up nice and tall as you inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 3. Keep the face relaxed. Nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. 4. Breathing in. And out. It's 5. Now we're going to carry on counting up to 10, but we're going to just cross our legs the other way around. Now you might not have explored this before, and if you haven't, it feels a little bit unusual to begin with to sit cross-legged the other way around. We're just going to get used to that. And again, if you wish to sit up on a block, you could. Replacing the back of the hands on the knees. Try and keep the arms straight. Imagine your profile from the side is fairly straight back. Don't worry if it feels like you're slightly drawn forwards. Just lift the chest, keep the shoulders soft, gazing down at the space between the knees as you breathe in. Breathe out. That's 6. Smooth breath in. Out. 7. Keep your awareness tuned into the sensation of breathing. 8. 9. 10. That seated posture is called Padmasana. Eventually we'd sit with the legs crossed, but this is a great way in just to begin with. And the last seated posture is called Uplutihi, and that's where we spread the fingers and press the palms into the ground. And it's similar now to the Vinyasa, but for 10 breaths, can you press firmly down to the ground, try and keep the knees drawn in. Don't worry physically, nothing much is happening. Just make the effort to press down. Remember, it's from internally feeling your abdomen, not just drawing in, but almost lifting up. Uddiyana Bandha in yoga terms and Mula Bandha, this support here. Inhale, press, tilt and weight forward is 1. Just keep pressing down. 2, 3. You might have your hips off the ground. 4. Don't worry if you don't. Just press down. 5. Keep slightly leaning into it. 6. A few more breaths. You're doing really well. 7. Keep breathing. 8. Keep pressing down. 9. 10. Exhale. Release. Well done. We're going to take our final posture, Shavasana, where we're going to take the feet nice and wide. We lie down on our backs, arms off to the side, palms up. At this point, if you wish just to pause and put some socks on or an extra layer of clothes, you want to maintain this nice heat we've built up. And then this sensation that we're just melting into the ground. Relax the shoulders, feel the back of the head on the mat. Space around all of the joints. And it's appropriate now to let go this awareness to the abdomen, which creates strength and lightness in the practice. You want to feel your tummy soft now. As you breathe in, it might rise and fall. And just let the breath come and go naturally, whatever feels appropriate for you to breathe. If you wish, additionally, in through the mouth and out through the mouth, let the breath just flow. Feel that space down the back of the throat. Feel the eyelids heavy, the eyes are closed now, forehead soft. And this posture, Shavasana, as we've talked about before, just as important as all the other postures. Chance now for the body just to relax, to release. I want you to take your awareness from the top of your head and slowly move down the entire body, like you're doing a slow scan. So you can keep checking everything is completely free. The muscles in the face, back of the head gently on the mat. Feel the neck completely relaxed and the shoulders soft. Take your awareness down your arms, past the elbows, the wrists and the fingers. Imagine space between all of those joints. And then from the top of your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, down the back. Imagine the spine just settling into alignment all the way down to the lower back, where you can feel space around the hips. Just double check your abdomen, your tummy completely soft as you breathe in. Feel that sense of rising. As you breathe out, falling. And then continuing to take your awareness down the legs, past the knees, the ankles and the toes. And imagine space around all of those joints. So can you find that place where it feels like you are floating in space? Completely weightless, completely free. And you can repeat that in reverse from the toes, working your way upwards a few more times. Completely let go. And trying to find some balance between the stillness, the physical stillness of this posture, and this steady quality of mind that is simply tuned inwards to the sensations throughout the body. So we feel we are present, using the breath as an anchor to keep us in this calm, tranquil place. And we're staying here for a few more moments. And then gently beginning to move the fingers and the toes. A little bit more movement into the hands and the feet. Gently taking the arms up, back behind you. Relax the shoulders. Wherever you get to with the hands on the ground or the mat behind your head, just pause there for a moment. If you wish, you can inhale and just take the fingers a little bit further back. Bring the feet together and feel that nice extension all the way through the body, down the legs to the toes, and pause there. And finally, we bend the knees. We draw the knees in towards the chest. We can reach the fingers round, slowly moving from side to side on the lower back. We stay in this curled up position and gently roll onto our right side. We can take this as an opportunity to gently open up the eyes, just to get used to our surroundings. And then, when we're ready, supporting ourselves, come up to sitting. Just nice, easy cross-leg, whatever feels comfortable for you to sit on your mat. Okay, so end of lesson 6 as we start to expand this Ashtanga yoga practice with the seated postures. So I'd encourage you to move through this series. Remember lesson 5, do the standing postures first. Then come back to lesson 6, add on these first few seated postures. If you can do that 4 or 5 times throughout the week, that will be a great way in. And then whenever you feel ready, you can find lesson 7. Good chance that's already out on YouTube now, and that's adding on to what we've done and learning some more seated postures to get us to well on for halfway through this Ashtanga yoga practice. So you're doing really well. Spend some time every day on your yoga mat. There's a PDF download for this lesson we've just done today with those new seated postures, so you can check that out, and lots more resources on the website onyouryogamat.com. Details below if you're on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great week wherever you are, and bye-bye.